Hello out there in the realms of the living. Welcome to Thrones of Game, the only Game of Thrones podcast that watches the show backwards. If you've never heard the show before, my name is BT Calloway. I've already seen the entire show, and joining me is my friend Elliot Jay O'Neill, who's watching Game of Thrones through for the first time, but in reverse order. Elliot, how you doing, buddy?
Oh, well, I'm expecting you to cut me off.
See, I like to keep you on your toes.
Oh, fuck.
You never know what I'm going to do. But no, we don't have time because we have so much episode to get through on. We just watched Season 6, Episode 9.
Nice.
Yeah, nice. I didn't even notice. Way to catch that one. The Battle of the Bastards!
Bastards.
Yeah, I mean, I recapped this one quickly, but come on, you know out there, this is the Battle of the Bastards. This is Jon Snow throwing down against Ramsay Bolton in an epic battle that is toit and dope and awesome.
Oh, cool.
Well, I thought so. Elliot, what did you think? As we always do, let's start with a questionnaire. What just happened?
Oh, well, Jon Bon Snowy threw down with Flash Gordon Ramsay. Sorry, I'm stealing a bit from the Declines album, Flash Gordon Ramsay Street. What's his name? Ramsay Bolton?
Yeah.
All right. And we see a massive battle at the end, and before that, other stuff happens. Yeah,
some other stuff. A complete bit I completely forgot about is the Siege of Marine, which lasts about 20 minutes for Marine.
Yeah.
But, that's interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are the main takeaways from this one. Marine gets attacked. Freaking Battle of the Bastards. Ramsay Bolton eats shit and dies. Rickon Stark eats shit and dies.
Yeah.
So let's get on to this. What do you think is the most valuable part of this episode?
Well, I think I might have sort of given away a little bit of my feelings of really? Pardon the fucking pun, but I thought the battle, while had some cool moments, was a little muddy. Yeah,
that's fair.
I know, it's the point.
No, I noticed this time around that, maybe there's a bit of the pacing being off, because without the kind of build up towards it, certain parts don't feel maybe as fluid as they should. But again, I think this is a well shot episode because all the, even the parts where it's hard to feel what's going on, I feel like that's the point in those parts. Other parts, it's much clearer, and it looks, even though it's got a whole muted color palette, it's very a lot of grays and cold blues and things like that. I think it's pretty clear, and the muddiness of it for me just makes it all the more real and just desperate. Yeah,
I mean, this isn't The Long Night, This is definitely a few steps above that in many ways. And yeah, I agree. If there's muddiness and there's chaos and it's hard to tell what's going on, it's kind of the point. Like, you got those piles of bodies building up, and I think it was actually a really cool choice to have the camera perspective from Jon as he's sort of maybe becoming part of one of these piles, but also it sort of was a bit of a mishmash to watch.
Yeah, there were some bits, especially when all the bodies piled up, looks good, but then it's like, well, they wouldn't just stack on like that. It'd be more spread out.
Yeah.
And there's a bit where they get surrounded, which works well for a oh fuck moment, but it's also, they kind of just stand there and get surrounded. It just have someone yelling, spread out, don't get flanked, and then they get flanked.
Yeah, I gotta say, fucking Ramsay Street, his fucking strategies are great.
No, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
He's a total cunt, but my gosh, is he good at it?
Yeah. Cunt's a cunt, but, smart cunt.
Yeah, exactly. He knows what he's doing, and it works. I mean, because they have that whole bit beforehand, and I had a few picks for MVP, but I honestly think one of the better parts is a quiet moment between Sansa and Jon, where she's all just like, look, you've met Ramsay once. I lived with a guy. I know what he's like, and he's going to try and fuck with you. And he's not dismissive, but then it's just, I think at the point of too desperate to know what else to do. She says, we haven't got enough. He's like, I know it's not enough, but it's what we've got.
Yeah.
And there's no other option but just to try their best and fight for this. And I like that. And it also, it happens because, they talk about their plan is they've dug trenches. They can't get flanked. They're going to stand still and let the Bolton army come to them so they can, weed out their numbers a bit. And then the whole thing with Ramsay Bolton just drags out Rickon and gets him to run and starts shooting arrows at him, and that just breaks Jon's resolve, and then the plan just goes out the fucking window.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the old Mike Tyson quote of everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face.
Yeah. And this is sort of one of my least valuable moments in this is just because I get told a lot, up until this point, John is the fucking great swordsman and battle dude, and he's fucking awesome. But again, it's one of these things like Cersei, where I've been told a lot, but I haven't seen a lot. And so this is one of the moments where I get to see it, and I'm like, well, in this moment, he's actually just fucking lucky more than anything. Especially in that moment where the horses first fucking start charging and there's the two armies, there's arrows flying everywhere. How did he not get hit? I mean, fuck off.
Pretty much. And even then, it's like, well, his plan's already ruined, because it's a great shot where the Bolton army is running towards him, all the horses. He just draws the sword and stands there and just goes, well, I'm fucked. And it's like, yeah, you pretty much were.
Yeah.
You're lucky your army decided to charge exactly when they did, because a second later and you'd have been boned.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I try and let a lot of this thing go because, I like, kung fu action sequences when it's, the one against, the army of many, and it's less about, what would be possible and just more about the artistic thing. But
yeah, well, I think in any kind of battle, especially, your medieval battles, it doesn't matter how good you are. It's just, luck is always going to be a part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, I mean, having said that, there were a lot of cool shots, and I think especially in terms of blood spraying, they were able to catch the light just perfectly on a lot of these gushes going up. And
it was nasty. Like, the whole thing, I just wrote down, it was just dirty, chaotic, and brutal, and I think that works really well.
Yeah. So in that, I don't actually have one MVP, but 3... contributing people in Jon Snow's army, the fucking Sir Davos, who,
who rocks, is my favorite in this backwards rewatch.
Yep. And Tormund Giantsbane. And again, those two have a really good back and forth earlier in the episode.
Totally. I love that whole bit, especially when Tormund doesn't get metaphors.
Yeah.
And Sir Davos like, Stannis Baratheon was a good man, but he had a lot of demons, and he said, "You've seen these demons." No, it's a figure of speech.
Yeah, my note here was, is he the Drax, the destroyer of the Game of Thrones?
He definitely is. I think this happened before Drax, but I can't quite remember the timeline on that.
No, fair enough. But yeah, as well, the line is like, was he talking about shitting himself?
And I say, well, he's like, yeah. Tormund is all like, oh, you know what I do before a battle? I have a good drink of, what do you call, like, curdled goat's milk or something.
Yeah.
It's far stronger than that pussy wine you guys have. It's like...
Yeah, grape water.
Right. I mean, fair, grape water is, that's accurate.
Yeah.
And then, Sir Davos is like, no, before a battle, I go for a long walk. I go for a walk, and I think, and I walk until I'm far off away that no one can see me shit myself. Like,
happy shitting.
I think that should just be a slogan by itself. Let's, get Kleenex... Get Kleenex on the phone, pitch them a brand new slogan instead of, I don't know, softness for home or something, like whatever their current slogan is, like happy shitting.
Yeah.
Because let's just be honest here.
Yeah, instead of the Labrador puppy with, your softness and freshness, have Tormund Giantsbane happy shitting.
I mean, I would buy that. You give me Tormund Giantsbane fucking toilet paper, I will buy that.
Absolutely. But yeah, my third MVP as well is, and I don't know his name, so I just wrote Sweetums because he reminds me of that giant monster from the Muppet Show.
Yeah.
The one, like, because, a lot of Muppets, it's a two-man job, but Sweetums, he is a one person in a costume, fucking giant. His gag is usually he swallows things whole.
Yep.
And yeah, this giant looked exactly like him. It was insane.
Yeah, it's true.
Can you shed any light on the giant?
Nope.
Oh.
He's a giant.
Oh. He's just friends with these guys?
He's part of the wildlings, aka the free folk from beyond the wall, who are not part of the White Walker army, just regular people trying to live. And yeah.
Yeah. Oh man. The physical imposition, and I think a lot of the favorite shots that from the battle of mine involved him, because I think he is a good sort of measuring stick for how the battle is going.
Yeah.
Like, because he can just come in and fucking sweep people two at a time, and the one shot where he just like treats them like a fucking pistachio.
Yeah, just picks a guy up and just
no description or metaphor needed. Just
just guttural fruit smashing sounds. That's what happened.
But yeah, dude taking a shitload of arrows, and even when they are getting surrounded, and he's like trying to have a distance and pick off people,
swat at their lines of spears that are coming in as they're doing that. I think it's a phalanx where they put the shields up and the spears. Yeah.
the person next behind holding the spears. Again, great strategies from Mr. Ramsay.
Oh, yeah. And, like, there's a good little contrast where Sir Davos is like, no, don't shoot your arrows, we'll hit our own men. And Ramsay's like, fucking shoot arrows, hit our own men. I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
Because he knows he's got the numbers and is just fighting by attrition.
No, that's it. Again, like, great strategy. He could have not seen Sansa's army coming. I'm assuming that was Sansa's army. I don't know.
That's Littlefinger's army that Sansa used him to bring in. The Knights of the Vale.
There we go. My note there was like, the blue team saves the day.
Pretty much.
But yeah, as well, with the giant as well finally breaking into Winterfell, and like that great shot of the arrow stabbed him as he reached through the door, and he just fucking pulls through anyway.
It just shows that grit and determination, and like, fuck it, we're gonna it's make or break time, you know?
Yeah.
I love that bit.
And yeah, as he's falling down and pelting with arrows, and that brief look between him and Snow, and interrupted with an arrow to the eye.
Yep, from goddamn cunty Ramsay Bolton. So there's a debate between who's the bigger bastard, Ramsay Bolton or Joffrey.
Right.
I say Bolton personally because he's a disgusting human being, but God, I love his actor. He does it so well. He's just, you hate him immediately.
There's something about that particular shade of cunty blue eyes that, I think both him and Joffrey had. I haven't met Joffrey.
True, but Joffrey is definitely blue-eyed as well. So something about blue-eyed people. All of them guns? Wait, what color are mine? I can never tell. All right, so that's MVP. No nudity in this episode, unfortunately. For all the violence, we didn't get any sweet booty. But instead, let's move to Violet. Sorry.
I was just going to say, the side of nudity is cock talk.
Yep.
Didn't quite get in cock talk, but there was a little bit of balls talk.
Oh, we got a little bit of cock talk. But first, let's play the theme song, Cock Talk. And what was your balls talk?
Oh, fuck. I don't even know. All right, the context was that that was during the standoff moment. And
I know. The bit
eyes,
like,
balls.
Where Ramsay Bolton's all like, I can't wait for you to meet my dogs. They've been starving them for 7 days, setting up something for later. Yeah. What will they eat first? Your eyes? Your balls? Let's find out.
When we play eyes or balls.
Balls.
As it'd be, eyes.
Yeah, actually, it's more of a jaw when we get there eventually.
Good point.
Yeah.
So when they ask him, how do we know that you got the kid or whatever?
Just a second, we will quickly throw to Cock Talk where Yara and Theon are in front of Daenerys and just like, Uncle Euron is going to come with a fleet. He's like, why shouldn't I wait for him? He's like, well, he's not only bringing the fleet, he's bringing his big old cock. He's going to try and marry you.
His words, not ours.
Yeah, no, you got that sense of like almost in brackets, this is what he said. We can't verify, we can't confirm or deny.
Uncle Euron, can you just phrase it different? No, big cock.
You tell her, big cock. Yep. It's a very Euron thing to say. And I do like Yara's quick bit where, Daenerys is like, and you're not bringing the offer of marriage. And Yara's like, not offering, but I'm up for anything. Yara just plays any field she can find.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a shame that I didn't get to see more of her later on. I hope to meet more of her before on.
Yeah, and you shall.
Yay.
But how much, I'm not too sure. Anyway.
Yeah, great character. Almost a shame that, she was in prison for most of the fucking...
Yeah.
Yeah. So just, jumping back to that standoff scene. So when... they were like, how do we know you've got Rickon or whatever? And he throws the pig's head? What's this?
That is the head of his direwolf. So all the kids got a direwolf at one point, and that is Rickon's.
Right. Okay. It'd be like the equivalent of throwing his Happy Meal toy or something.
I guess. They don't really prove it. So we've got his wolf, that much. But,
yeah. I ripped the head off Mr. Honey Bunny.
Different podcast.
Oh, yeah. Whoops.
Also, listen to the Simpsons Index. We're on it. It's good.
But yeah, I had another moment is that Ramsay was doing a Wickham in that moment. I've been starving him, teasing him, feeding, singing off key. Me mama mo.
Me mama me. It would have been funny if he had that whole bit.
Yeah. Sorry, you were saying before.
And I'm just looking over my notes for moments of violence. I did quite like when the archers first let loose and we get a few extra arrows sticking into Rickon's corpse, because that's a very, no holds, we're going full force here, there's no holds barred, we don't really know what's going to happen. I remember watching this the first time during the all is lost moment where Jon Snow's getting crushed going, They're not going to... They might. They could. It'd be interesting if they killed him off at this point, and it just became about, Sansa with being one of the last Starks and Daenerys and her invasion. Would have been a very different direction. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about if there was any sort of sense of that happening amongst the GOT fan base, but yeah, I guess in a show where they have mercilessly killed off a lot of people's favorite characters, maybe?
Yeah, it's the weird thing where, the first 3-4 seasons, there are deaths that you just didn't see coming outright. And then after that, you kind of got a sense of, we still have these players, and if they were going to die, it's going to feel much more, what's the word I'm looking for? Much more anticlimactic rather than
right.
So instead of subverting the expectation, it would feel anticlimactic. And that was the kind of difference. So while you got a sense that they probably weren't going to die, there's always a possibility. So at this point, I thought, you could. You've got enough characters around to do something if Jon does cark it.
Yeah.
But no, I didn't fully think it would, but it was certainly a possibility.
Yeah. Because I was trying to remember as well. Have I met Rickon already? I don't know. He seems vaguely familiar. Oh, no, definitely haven't.
Definitely not. Full of arrows now. Although one thing I did want to say is they do make a point. They're going to put him down in the crypt next to Father. And in The Long Night, they have a bit where they resurrect everyone and people who are dead in the crypt come back to life. I don't think Rickon was there. Fucking missed opportunity. Come on. You could have had Rickon crawling towards Sansa's face. That would have been weird and awesome as fuck.
Yeah, imagine that. Because, they've just dealt with the grief and that was very traumatic for them. God, imagine, bring that up.
I know. Would have opened old wounds. It would have been great. But thanks for fucking everything up, Season 8. The more we watch backwards, the more Season 8 makes me angry.
Oh, me too. And I'm not invested in the, previous 6. Mm-hmm. In terms of violence as well, I feel like the opening battle as well was a bit of a letdown. It felt like it was going to be so much more than it ended up being.
Yeah, I mean, I completely forgot this even happened.
Yeah.
So we open up with these, flaming balls getting hucked at Marine, and Daenerys is all like, oh, we're under siege. Crap.
I was expecting Tyrion in that moment to go, goodness gracious, great balls of fire.
Nice.
Yeah. But I enjoyed that little scene with him and her trying to talk, reasonably and intelligently.
Yeah, and she's all like, we're under attack. We're going to just kill everybody. And he's all like, no, they're here because they need Marine to fail. And if you kill everybody, you're kind of proving their point.
Yeah.
So you need to not do that, please.
Yeah. I wish this is where they put sort of more time in the episode as well, because I would have liked to see this battle play out as well. More dragon fire.
I know. And just a bit more of, what was your plan exactly? So I'm pretty sure this is the first time I think we've seen dragons fight properly. They've been around, but, but at the same time, these people showed up with a bunch of ships. They know she has 3 dragons, and they didn't think that would be a problem. I mean, again, to be fair, as far as I remember, 2 of them were locked underneath the pyramid the entire time, and one of them, I don't think anyone had seen it fight.
Yeah.
So they didn't really know it could do something like that. But at the same time, you didn't consider this in the slightest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They can breathe fire? What the fuck?
No one told me there'd be dragons. But yeah, we did. Oh. You should have told me louder.
I heard legend that they were very friendly and they shat candy.
You could pet dragons and it'd be all nice. What's this? Oh, we're on fire now.
Yeah, and which is a shame because, I really liked the negotiating scenes. I thought there was some great tension there.
Yeah.
And, especially the scene where they're like, okay, one of you must die. Mm-hmm. And then Grey Worm ends up killing the sellouts with that one.
Yeah.
That was really cool.
Because Grey Worm is a badass. But we do kind of do the stereotypical thing of we're here to discuss terms of surrender. Oh, well, you can surrender and just go back and leave all your people and we'll sell them again. Oh, no, I meant your surrender. Oh, psych! It's no, we've kind of done this before.
Yeah.
If you'd interrupt and go, no, you don't understand.
Are you a fucking idiot? Look at this giant dinosaur that I have.
Remember the dragon? You mentioned it yourself.
Yeah.
Duh.
We're not killing the dragon. Kill you, dummy.
Yeah, this is how it worked. Dragon, kill you. Yeah, it's they kind of just forgot. Oh, yeah. We knew she had dragons. We forgot they could do things. You forget. There's kind of a pointless bit where the Sons of the Harpy, the guys in gold masks, are just killing civilians, just to remind you they're the bad guys.
Yeah.
And then the Dothraki come in and CGI lop someone's head off.
Again, I can't believe these sequences weren't like a bit more played out to sort of help drive the tension in the negotiating
I think
scenes.
it just felt like they had the Battle of the Bastards to get to, and they're just like, let's just wrap this up and move on. It might just be a timing a number of episodes kind of thing. But
and look, it might be also that there was more of this in the last episode that I haven't seen yet, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Also, there's something to be said about there's an invasion of a city going on, but all our key players are fine. Give us someone on the ground who's being affected by this.
Yeah.
You know, so like a character who, even if Miss Andre was down amongst the people, you know, doing something else, and then all of a sudden it starts getting firebombed and she's, you know, in a panic about trying to survive or trying to help other people out. Give us a person to whom this means something. Because to them, they're just like, oh, we're totally fine and we have dragons and now 2 of you are dead. Ha 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 ha.
Yeah, it's almost sort of having an episode showing 2 battles where they had an example of that with, you know, John being very much in the front line of this and that working.
Yeah, and there's a nice bit where John rides up to Ramsay's like, nope, thousands of men don't have to die, just you and me, single combat. And Ramsay's too much of a dick.
Yeah. I've thought about your proposal and I think we will go single combat.
No, but he's, again, in pure brilliant dickishness form, he's got that bit of, well, you're completely boned, why don't you get off your horse, kneel, surrender, and I'll forgive all your crimes. I'm so nice.
I'm a good leader and a very good shot.
And then leaves with just Sansa going, you're going to die tomorrow, Ramsay Bolton. Sleep well. Mic drop. Ooh. Now, in the olden days, they didn't have microphones. They had to drop people called Mike. It was tough. Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Mic of drop. Yeah, it's like calling your kid Jeeves. It was just setting them up for a particular...
very particular life, yeah.
Yeah. So with violence, that pretty well covers it, right? Except for the final fight.
Yeah, all the final fights, and then just beating the ever-loving snot out of Ramsay.
Yeah, Jon Snow equals Edward Norton, Ramsay equals Jared Leto.
Just smack.
But yeah, I thought in that moment it was, he looked over to Sansa and was, you want to have a kick? Like,
yeah, have a go. I like sharing, you know.
But no, she only made him show mercy so she could feed him to the dogs.
Yeah, a little bit. I think it was a little bit, do you want to go? And also, you know, he's down. He's not worth the energy of continuing to pummel him.
Yeah. But with that final scene as well, I liked the conversation with him and Sansa, and, you know, he's still trying to do the whole, you'll remember me.
You can't kill me. I'm a part of you now.
Yeah. But I just wish the bit with the dogs was a bit more visceral.
It's pretty visceral.
Yeah, but I don't know. They kind of crawl into it, and they sort of sniff and lick him like he's still his master, and like,
then it bites his jaw off.
Yeah, but I wish the dogs were already like clawing and barking at the cage walls, and then they fucking ripped into him. And
man, you got that moment of him thinking, oh, they're good boys, they'll sit, and he's like trying to command them off as one's kind of just giving him a sniff and a lick.
Yeah.
And I think it drives a lot more tension in that moment.
Okay.
You know. Plus, again, having watched this forward, we wanted him to die so much.
Yeah.
So just the joy of watching him suffer a little bit. Especially, and it just does this great where it just goes down to his hand as it's straining and it's just dripping blood.
Yeah.
And it's letting you know he is getting fucked up without really showing you any of it.
Well, yeah, again, I kind of wish there was a bit more ripping and stuff. You know, in a show that's not afraid to show gore and stuff, I thought this was not the moment for a bit of an artful, you know, not quite seen death. Yeah,
I mean, I generally speaking will always prefer the suggestion over the actual showing, but I can take your point.
Yeah. But, you know, happy to agree to something.
Mm-hmm. And as there was a bit of a meme going around the next day of just good boy. Who's a good dog?
Yeah, I was actually very happy. Justice for dogs, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, wasn't happy when he was like, oh, I've been starving him for 7 days. You fucker.
Bastard, come on. They look at them, they're cute.
I wasn't sure about your character before, but now, oh my goodness, you are the worst person.
Sure, he shoots a innocent running boy in the back while he's trying to reach his brother and be safe for once. He taunts Sansa and, shoots his own men with arrows, but it's the doggos that always make the difference.
Yes.
I know, I agree, especially in film.
No, that's it. I can happily watch war movies and stuff, but, you know, Disney's A Dog's Life I'm never going to see. I'm not emotionally prepared for that.
As we've said before, that movie should just be titled Cry, Bitch, Cry. It knows what it's doing. There's some nice aerial shots I wanted to mention, especially that beginning where you kind of pan over the Stark army and they're all getting ready, and then you do kind of a low shot across the battlefield, and there's all those, burning X's with flayed men hanging from them, and you just get this massive wall of the Bolton army, and like,
Yeah. No, great intimidation shots there. Yeah, they really rolled a high intimidation check there.
Oh my, yes.
But Jon Snow just had the power of the dice on his hands that day, and I think he added a lot of luck to his rolls as well.
Oh my gosh, yes. A lot of rolling with advantage, and it worked out. Quick thing I wanted to talk about is early on, and when Dan Brady is walking around talking and stuff, she's like the most slovenly I think we've ever seen her. Her hair is not braided. Yeah. It's mostly out. Mostly out.
Well, she's still got like 3 sets of braids coming in and joining at the back.
At the back, but I mean the hair is all mostly out. It's for someone who is called Dan Brady because of how well she's put together and constantly braided to shit.
Yeah, it's not the spirals that we've also seen, and there's no way you have that much hair. Yeah, okay, I'll pay that. But also, I mentioned in a few episodes ago that I haven't noticed actually that much cleavage in the show. And actually, the last 2 episodes, Dan's just letting the boys hang out a bit,
Yeah, no, I also think that's a good visual representation of the different continent. Because even Missandei is wearing this kind of strappy blue thing, whereas when she's in Westeros, it's all kind of full length and a lot darker colors.
Yeah.
It's good to show that, Meereen is a different continent with an entirely different fashion sense, and they're kind of reflecting the place that they're in. It's, again, the costume designers on this just kill.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
I got a bit of Monty Python when Grey Worm's all like, okay, you men can fight for these, masters who didn't fight for you, or you can go home to your wives. And they're like, run away!
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Yep. Everything is Monty Python. Sansa's got a good line of Jon's all like, I'll protect you. And she's like, no one can protect me. No one can protect anyone. It's like, bleak but accurate.
Yeah, well.
No matter how hard you try, sometimes you just can't.
Yeah, she'd know. Oh, yeah, we got a little bit of Davos fighting like Moose Toy, which would lead him to yell at chewing out Millhouse later in...
Stag. It's
stag?
It's a stag.
Oh.
Important. It's a symbol of House Baratheon.
Oh, right. They didn't have moose in Westeros?
I mean, maybe. It'll take about a season for that to make sense, but...
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was a while back. But we also have a little bit back and forth with Jon and the Red Woman, Melisandre.
Millhouse.
Millhouse. Millhouse Sandra.
Millhouse.
Yeah, and she's all like, I have no power. I just do what the Lord of Light commands me, and he gave me you. And Jon's like, well, why did he do that? And she's all, I just wanted her to be like, I don't know. And so it's like, he works in mysterious ways. Much like last episode we saw, I kind of wish someone would just cut loose every now and then. It's like, yeah, fuck.
Because stuff.
I guess that's what Tormund is for.
Yeah. Also, in that moment, I felt like that was sort of Jon Snow talking to, Sansa and then Red Woman, and them being like, he's going to them for advice, and then being like, I don't know. Like, even Jean Grey was all like, I have ideas, I lived with him. And he's like, what should I do? I don't know. Well, fucking... Anyway.
Yeah, but I think that sells the desperation of just, it's hard.
Yeah. Yeah, that puts me out of notes.
I got a couple more. So there's a good bit with Tyrion who's like, anyone who makes jokes about a dwarf's height thinks he's the first person to make jokes about a dwarf's height. Same goes for any kind of joke you say to like a retail worker.
Yeah.
We've heard them. Shut up.
Can't claim that on tax.
Fuck up. Savings, more like spendings. Piss off your dick nods.
I only came in here for one thing. But yeah, I imagine that dude's now getting, the 5 cockless jokes as well.
Yeah, no, he definitely has cockless jokes lined up for him. That's gonna happen.
Yeah, he got his comeuppance.
And I also kind of liked the bit where Yara goes to shake Daenerys' hand, and Daenerys is like confused, because I'm not entirely certain, but I'm pretty sure she's from a different continent where they don't shake hands. This isn't a thing she's familiar with. Kind of looks at Tyrion, and Tyrion like gives kind of like a miming of shaking hands, like, you do the, you get it. It's just a nice little feature of, they come from different worlds, and this is a good way to show that.
Yeah, well, I mean, at least it wasn't a complicated handshake, First you do the thumb over thumb, and then you relax into a normal handshake.
Slap. And then fist bump.
Got to explode it.
I think that puts me out of notes, so you're all done as well?
Yeah.
Well, then we must ask our final question. How did we get here?
All right, so obviously Ramsay Street kidnaps the Stark boy. He does that somehow, and we're going to see the Battle of Daenerys and the slavers. So they're all like, hey, I heard about this guy Abraham Lincoln, and I think we should do what he done.
Abraham of Lincoln.
I think Massachusetts. I don't know. So, yeah, inspired by, the American Revolution and Civil War, Emancipation, Proclamation. Yeah.
Through time and space and different dimensions, they heard about that. Like, neat.
Well, I mean, Tyrion, he seems well-read.
That's true. That's true.
Across dimensions and
something I quickly wanted to mention is the catapult on one of the ships. The way it works it was just in the background. It was really interesting. It had like this curved track, and it dropped and kind of flipped around. I was like, that's dope.
Oh yeah. In the opening battle,
yeah,
right?
It's about a minute or two in, but it's like that's cool. I've never even seen a catapult work like that before.
No, it really reminded me of what are those catapults that have like the string and then
trebuchet?
Trebuchet.
Mm-hmm.
I was like tractor beam, treble babble. I don't know. Trebuchet.
Good old trebuchets. Yeah, a little bit like that, but with a bit more of a roller coaster track on it, where it flips down. Like, man, that's cool. I'm assuming that's historically accurate, but it's dope.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
All right. Well, if that puts you out of notes, that puts me out of notes. We know how we're getting here. We're going to see the start of trebuchets firing at the end of next episode. So yeah, let's wrap things up. That's been Elliot Jay O'Neill.
Later.
I've been BT Calloway, and for now, our watch has ended. Theme music.